Good evening, my name is Mike Oren. This is Java for 1510. This is the week 3 advanced views. This week we created an application that supported both landscape and portrait mode, and if the phone is in portrait mode, it creates a drop down with information populated from a custom class and a custom adapter that we created. If it is in landscape, the same information will be populated into a list view, and both portrait and landscape have detail views depending on the information. I went with the AFC division of the NFL just because it was just simple information that I could populate. I created a custom class with an integer and two string pieces of information. The division I realized was kind of redundant since I'm doing the AFC division. It didn't really show the dynamic since every team would have the same division name. So I refactored it to be stadiums. I just didn't change the variable name. But I created a class constructor with an empty constructor, and then set up the getter and setter, and set up the adapter for that team. To get into the landscape and portrait, I had to create two separate layout folders and populate them both with item layouts and main activities. And then I created a Boolean XML in a values folder for landscape and default portrait to identify if the phone was in either view, either in landscape or portrait, to populate my my tables based on to populate either a spinner or a table based on that information. So going over the actual project, if it runs, excuse me. And then I set up the adapter views for a on item click and on item selected, or set on item selected. So for the actual application, you have the drop down menu or spinner, and it populates the stadium and the number of Super Bowl wins. I'm not sure off the top of my head if the Super Bowl wins is accurate. It's the Jets and Dolphins. Who cares? Go Patriots. So that information will populate. It was getting kind of down to the wire, and I have to be at work in 6 hours, so I didn't make it pretty. I apologize. I just figured out how to populate the detail views. So I promise next week's application will be much prettier. So each team populates their respective information based on the clicks, and then rotating the device into landscape mode sets up the list with the information. I put the information in all three lines of each row just as proof of concept, and then clicking on each one will bring up the respective information on the right hand side. So that's this week's application. I will see you all next week.